Keep it going for Taylor, everybody. Keep it going for Taylor. As he high-fives his table, and then all his friends leave. Comedy. I'm kidding. Shh, settle down. We have more shows.
One-on-one.
Keep it going for Taylor, everybody. Keep it going for him. See there in the audience. I like that he said long story short after telling 3 of the longest stories of all times. But that was good. That was great. For his 5th time, great job, Taylor. Really fun stuff. And go polio. Fun there. Your next comic coming to the stage. Put your hands together for Kieran and Beatty. Everybody, kick over Kieran. It's a long walk, so clap all the way. Oh, there he is. Closer.
Thanks, guys. I know there's a few confused faces out there. I'm sure some of you are wondering whether you remember me from either a metal band or a drug-induced dream you once had. But it's probably both, actually. I've worked a lot of office jobs in my life. There's one thing I've noticed, it's that the cubicle walls, if the place has been updated kind of recently, there was gray color. That's not really spectacular, but it's not distracting either. It's neutral. If it hasn't been updated in a while, they're this light green, like vomit color. And it makes me wonder, what were they thinking in the 70s? Like, these people are trapped in these little prison cells for about 8 hours a day. Let's also make them think of every time they've had stomach flu. So, there was an office job I had once where I overheard a conversation between 2 women. One of them said to the other, "Hey, your boobs look nice in that shirt. You know what, you have nice boobs." And I was thinking, well, this is a pretty casual place, relaxed environment. So I said to my male coworker, "Hey man, you know what, your dick looks pretty nice in those pants. Dude, you have a nice dick." I got fired. But so this Cardi B thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? For those of you that only pay attention to important things, Cardi B is a rapper. She, a video resurfaced from a few years ago where she had said that in her stripper days she used to drug and rob men. And when it resurfaced, she released a statement where she said, just to cut it really short, the idea was just, yeah, I did that shit. And I got used to celebrities being accused of committing crimes, but this time the celebrity accused herself. And twice, really. And the other thing was, she said that these men were willing, conscious, and aware. That makes no sense. If somebody is aware that you're robbing them, you are not robbing them. So I moved up here to Western Mass a couple years ago from Connecticut. One thing I'm trying to get used to. Thank you. One thing I'm trying to get used to is the crazy intersections up here, the rotaries, the shit like that. And then also right here in town, there's that area where Route 57 goes over Route 75. That must be a horrible nightmare for dyslexics. Somebody with dyslexia drives up to that, they're like, no! But today is 420. And I might have like weird physiology or something. Anytime I've smoked weed, I haven't felt much of an effect, so I just don't smoke it. But I was wondering about 420 because it seemed like people that celebrate it are people that smoke weed pretty much every day anyway. So I asked somebody I know that smokes weed and celebrates 420 and said, "Well, what do you do different on 420? And this person said, "Oh, I smoke weed with a purpose." I said, "Well, what is that purpose?" And they said, "Well, that it's 420. Okay, I didn't know that smoking weed results in circular logic, so how did they choose the date for this? How did they choose April 20th? And they said, "Oh, that's because it's Hitler's birthday." I said, "Well, this didn't just get exponentially weirder. But hey, yeah, I love drinking beer, so why don't we start a yearly tradition where we drink beer with a purpose on Kim Jong-un's wedding anniversary?" So I did used to be a Uber and Lyft driver. It was a pretty interesting job. I met a lot of different people. But I did have one passenger that put on a song by Beyonce called If I Were a Boy. And I'd never heard this song before. And when I heard this, I thought it was one of the most sexist, but it's okay because it's not a man doing it, songs I'd ever heard. In the song, Beyonce says that if she were a boy, and I think man would make more sense, but anyway, that she would be a better boyfriend than any boy that ever been a boy his whole life. But that's not how it works. You can't just become someone else and conveniently be better at living their life than they are. Bitch, you'd be too busy adjusting to having balls to be a better boyfriend. And you spend half your time recovering from having sat on them by accident. So I saw a video that CNN did. It was about a couple that the man and the woman both had Down syndrome. And I guess that was the whole point of the video, is that they were in love, they both had Down syndrome. There is one part in it where the man is doing some celebrity impressions. One of them is of Sylvester Stallone. And I was like, okay, well, somebody with Down syndrome doing a Stallone, that's just automatically going to be perfect. So the guy's mom, though, she said that she didn't want Down syndrome to define them. If she didn't want Down syndrome to define them, maybe she shouldn't have let CNN do a story about it. And the video was called Down for Love, by the way. I wanted to just talk to you guys about something I do that might be considered not normal. It's probably not a surprise anyway, but I like to snack on American deli cheese right out of the fridge. Just take 3 or 4 slices, eat them at once. So when I go to the store, they do have them pre-packaged, but I always go up to the counter and order them because I like how they cut off that sample slice and show it to you. And I look at it pretending I'm evaluating the thickness. I'm like, yeah, it's good. I just accept it every time. It doesn't matter. And is the sample slice good enough for me? Is that enough? No, most of the time the package makes it home with a few slices missing. So, and do me a favor, guys, though, now that you know that, if you ever are on the road around town, you see me driving and eating cheese at the same time, please don't try to get my attention, don't wave, don't do anything like that. Don't tell me the next time you see me. I really don't want to know I've been caught doing that shit. Now, there was one time I was in line behind a couple and they both denied eating the sample slice, and I was like, they're aliens. But but now a robot named Marty took over all the jobs there, and he doesn't know how to cut cheese. So I'm shit out of luck where that's concerned. All right, thank you guys. I'm Karen Beatty.
Keep it going for Kieran, everybody. Keep going for it. Teach him about sample cheese. That's a good thing to learn. He's like better looking Steven Seagal. I like that. Dude, you got that brooding forehead thing. That's nice. You did well. You did.
Oh, thanks.
I wasn't sad. I appreciate that. I've been in the back thinking about killing myself, but I feel better now.
Oh, wow.
Because of you, I will now have sample cheese. And I was sitting there as a comic, worried and also excited that you were going to do the impression of Sylvester Stallone, Down syndrome person, and I'm like, don't do it, but kind of do it. Like I want to hear what you're gonna do, but I also want to just imagine how amazing it sounds.
Okay.
So I'm happy you just left some for the imagination.
Yeah.
Maybe later, as an encore, we'll have you come up here and do whatever the hell that is, that noise. Exactly, there it is. Which, by the way, was just dead on Stallone. There was no change to it. Actually, it sounded a little more intelligible. It was perfect. That was more up syndrome than down. Anyway, I always punch up my jokes and my syndromes. That's what you do. 2019. So, we have 412 more comedians. Usually people laugh at that, but you all got real nervous. You're like, oh, fuck you, dude. You said one more, then we can all leave because our friends were